Good afternoon, everybody. How is everybody out there in Facebook land? Welcome to my Facebook Friday Live. My name is Julia Green. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I go live on Fridays with what I call Facebook Fridays. So this is what you have come across here in Facebook land. If you'd like to know when I go live, I do go live on Fridays, but at different times. There's those three little dots up in the corner of your and you can just click on those. You'll get the notifications, and then you'll get a little bleep bleep that says, hey, Julie's going live, or Stamping with Julia is going live. So hopefully you guys are all having a great week. I'm having a much better week this week than I did last week. I ended up with the flu last week, which was not fun at all. I had the neurovirus first, and then I think I was run down from that, and then I was exposed to the flu at work. And it just really run me down. So I'm back, feeling better. So this afternoon, I've been up here just kind of futzing around, and I decided I'm still making Valentine cards because I love some of the Valentine stuff that we have. This particular suite is online, and you know, hearts aren't just for Valentine's. You can put hearts on cards any old time. And have them as an accent or whatever. You know, they're just really fun to have on your cards. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be Valentine's. We have such pretty DSP that I always, a lot of times, like both sides of the DSP. So today I was trying to come up with a little bit of a layout that would, where you'd see both sides of the DSP. So that's what I'm going to do. So I need this guy, but I'm going to get him out of the way because he gets a little, makes everything a little confusing. So excuse me. For my card base today, I have some Melon Mambo. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I have a little piece of white that I'm going to put right on top of that. And that is at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And this is going to make my card base. Okay. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive right on this guy, and we're just going to make our little card base. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator as of yesterday. January 30th was my 23rd anniversary. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you saw my post yesterday. I can't believe I've been doing this for 23 years. Actually, I can because I love it. So I can't believe that I've been doing it for 23 years. But one of the things back in the day when I first started, things were a lot different than they are today. We didn't have the framelits and all that stuff. And when we first started getting punches, those were very exciting. So layering for me is a big thing. And it's been instilled in me. So you don't have to put the layers on if you don't want. It makes the card heavier. So if you're going to ship the card in the mail, it makes it a little bit heavier. So I have a 12 by 4 inch piece of the DSP that was in that suite that I just showed you. And what I've done is I've scored 1 inch on both ends, and I'm going to turn those back, okay? Then I laid my paper in, and I scored at 2 1/2 and at 2 1/2. So it's going to give me a 5 by 4 piece in the center, okay? And then I'm going to turn it like this. And I'm not really sure because 1 inch and 1 inch, 2 1/2, 2 1/2, and 5 equals 12. So I'm not really sure why I'm getting a little gap in the middle, but I decided not to fret about it. But any of you lovely mathematicians or whatever out there could tell me that why 1 inch and 1 inch, 2 1/2, 2 1/2, which would be 5. So this would be 6, 7, and then 5 in the center would be 12. Why I'm getting the gape, I'm not really sure. And it's not really big, so I decided not to fret over it. So this is what you're going to end up with. Okay, so I'm going to take it, I'm going to glue these down because I don't want them flapping around. Okay. Then I really was happy with the way this came out because it highlights both the swirly side of the paper and this really pretty floral side of the paper. So, and then we're going to just put some, and I do have it not quite even there. And you can come in with your bone folder. I have to show you, I got a new bone folder. I decided to keep one myself. I did a team meeting and I sent my whole team a packet with some make and takes and stuff, and we met on Zoom the other night. And I had these made, Moonstruck Stampers Team, Keep On Creating. So that was the theme of my team meeting the other night was to keep on creating. That was my theme. So if you'd like more information about becoming a team member at any time, please just drop me a message, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. Like I said, I've been doing this for 23 years, and it has both been personally and financially a lot of fun for me. I was telling my team members the other night when I first started doing this, I was able to make a car payment every month doing this. And the main reason I started doing this was because my daughter was ADHD, and this was something her and I could do together and enjoy doing. She loved doing crafts. And we discovered rubber stamping, and then we discovered Stampin' Up, and it just one thing led to another. So now I have a piece of white that I'm going to put on the inside, and this is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, and we're just going to, and I actually probably wanted to stamp on this first because I think I'm going to stamp one of them little flowers on the inside, but I've already put my glue on, so I'm going to go with it. I'm not going to fret. That's one of the things I enjoy about this, is because I don't fret at all about this. It's a creative process. Sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you don't. So we're going to put this little heart right here on the front, but before we do that, we're going to do some stamping on it. So these are photopolymer stamps, so I'm going to use my little foam mat that I have covered in one of my grid sheets. I love to use the grid sheets for that. Okay, so we're going to start with this really pretty little rosebud here. And I have grabbed Melon Mambo, but I don't want it to be full strength. So we're going to stamp off and then come in like that. So it's a little bit lighter. And the reason I want it lighter is because my salutation is going to be darker, so I just want it to be a little bit lighter than full strength Melon Mambo. And the paper, you can see, is the lighter and the darker version of the Melon Mambo, so that's where I kind of got the idea. All right, and then we have these little leaf image that's in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put, whoops. My ink pads are all getting pretty dry because our furnace has been going crazy because it's been kind of chilly here. We've had some chilly weather. All right, and then I'm going to stamp off in this little corner right here. Just have a little image of the green leaves. I think I might do a little up here. And there you have it, okay? So now I've been busy making Valentine cards, and so I dug out last year's paper pumpkin kit, which was the lavender one that had in it, so it has a Happy Valentine's in it. So I was looking for that. But then I had this one, and those of you guys that follow my Facebook page, you'll see that Chloe and I did this month's paper pumpkin, which was Valentine's, and so I have the Valentine's stamp set left from that, and I like that a lot. And one of the sayings in it is, "You have my heart." So I am going to grab a block here. So I like to take my little grid and I like to line up my stamps, and then I like to come down with my block. And then that way there I know I have a little bit better chance of getting it centered. A little bit better chance. Not always 100%, but a little bit better. All right, now I'm coming in with some cherry cobbler because this is just a really nice dark red. And so we're just going to come in here with the cherry cobbler, and we're going to do "You Have My Heart" right there. Love it. Okay. You'll see it a little bit better when I take my mat away. You'll see it looks pretty cool. All right, and then we're just going to go right ahead and we're going to mount that right on here. So I have an idea of where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to put my adhesive on this little flap over here because we only want it on one little flap. And I am going to do like quite a bit because I want it to stick pretty good. And then I want this in the middle like that. And then so you have this really cute flap card. So I mentioned that I might want to put a little rose on the inside, and I think I am going to do that. So I'm going to come back with my Melon Mambo. Hi, Miss Sandy. How are you? So we're going to stamp off, and then we're going to stamp the little rosebud. Perfect. Glad it came out perfect because like I said, I had already glued everything together. But you know what? If I made a mistake, I could embellish over top of it, and I could fix it. That's why I never get too excited about any of it. So there we have the nice little rosebud to carry over on the inside. So I really like this a lot. So now I decided I needed I like to embellish, so I needed some embellishments. Let me close up my ink pads here so that I don't stick. I'm good, a little cold. Yeah, we've been having furnace issues here. I'm really hoping that we don't have to buy a new furnace. But our furnace is just not working up to capacity, so it's been a little frustrating. All right, so I'm going to put this little gold heart down here in the corner because I liked him there. All right, so let me find some dimensionals. I have a sheet here that I'm cutting apart. Let me cut some of these. Now, this little heart I cut out, and he's using the stamp set. He comes with the dies that's also in that set that I showed you in the beginning. He's one of the dies, and I really like him because he's got the little dots around the outside, so he's got that little bit of texture. But then I doubled it up, and I don't know if you can see that, but this is the textured metallic paper, which has texture to it, which is I really like a lot. Okay, so we put him up with a little bit of dimensional, so we're really coming along here. Now, I'm going to show you that paper because I think you'll really like it, and I think it would be really a nice additive to it. I'm sorry for the glare, but you can see it's got texture to the metallic, which is really cool. And then it comes in the gold. It comes in what they call tungsten, which, look at that color. To me, that has a really like almost a purple color to it, but you can see the texture. See the texture? And then it comes, oops, my paper's getting all clogged over here. And then it comes in copper. Look at the copper. Isn't that stunning? It's just really pretty. And you know what? I had it over there in my collection and hadn't used it. And when I was looking today, I was like, you know what? I'm going to grab that. Now, tungsten. I was like, okay, what exactly is tungsten? So I looked it up. Hang on, I'm struggling getting it back in the package here, but I really do want it back in the plastic because, there. All right, back in the plastic. Okay, we can put this over there. Tungsten, what did I do with my little notes? Tungsten is a naturally occurring silver gray metal. So tungsten is a natural metal, which I did not know. And it's used in light bulbs, electronics, and high-speed tools like drill bits and such things like that. So I like the tungsten too. So now I'm going to be looking for something to do with that tungsten there, Sandy. I like it a lot. All right, so I have a couple little empty spots here, and I have the gold. I have the metallic, the little gold hearts that come with that suite as well. And they come in 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. So I'm going to do a little small one down here. And I'm going to do a big one up in the bigger spot that I have, right up in there. I'm not only going to do 2 because then I have 1, 2, 3, technically with the 4 hearts, so I'm kind of a little off, but you know me. We could do a couple more over there if I wanted to, but what do you think? And I just think it's fun, and I think it's fun that you get to use both sides of the paper, so that's what I liked about it. So I decided to make another one. Let's put this guy over here, and let's bring in what I'm going to do on the next one here. All right. here we come. All right. These are the iridescent, they call them purple sequins that are free during celebration, okay? I don't have a white piece of paper here, but oh yes I do. I don't really think they're purple. I think this is like fresh freesia, but then I think this is like a pink. This I almost think is melon mambo, and these are like white iridescent. So I've found that they've been very, I mean, you can use these on like the purple and you'll see. I mean, I think they're pretty cool, and they'd be nice to have. And they're free with a $60 purchase, so that makes them even nicer. All right, so I've decided to use this celebration paper, which I put away, so I don't remember what it's called, but hang on. I have my celebration flyer here. Now, if you've already collected everything, I can't believe celebration's almost over, or that we're halfway through, not almost over, but the January is almost over. If you've already collected the things that you want out of this flyer, I understand that this coming week, there's going to be some new things offered free. So stay tuned for that. This is called Bloom Impressions, this paper, okay? And I just think it's so pretty on both sides. So I was like, I've got to figure out how to do that on so that I get to utilize both sides. So this time, let me get rid of some of my stuff here. Get it out of my way. All right, so I'm going to show you how I did it. And like I said, I don't know why I come up with that little gap, but I do. All right, so we're going to score at 1 inch on this side. Okay, and then we're going to score at 1 inch on this side. Okay. And then we're going to turn those back so that they are showing. Just like that. And you can use your bone folder if you want to. So now I should have a 10-inch piece, correct? So now I'm going to do this one we're going to score at 2.5 over here. All right. And then we're going to bring this one over and we're going to score this one at 2.5. And then we don't need the cutter anymore. All right, so then we're gonna fold this in on our score line, and we're gonna fold this one in on our score line. And I get this little gap, which I don't really know why, but like I said before, I'm not gonna fret over it, all right? Because it's still doing what I want it to do. All right, and then we're going to put a little adhesive on the flaps to hold them down, and then we have that. And isn't that pretty? So we get to see both sides of that paper. Okay, I see Fresh Freesia, White, Berry Burst, and Bubble Bath. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see a lot of purple other than the Fresh Freesia, but that's just me. I'm going to show you something else in this too, that in this paper that I think they're a little off too. But anyway, it's okay because all of our colors, that's one of the things that that was one of the big things that always sold me on Stampin' Up! Was the coordination of the colors and that the paper and everything coordinated. So I didn't have to stand in the line or stand in a store and try to find, stuff that coordinated. I could just, it was just right there in the catalog. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, okay? And then this is 4 1/8 high candy. And then this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, okay? And we're going to layer that right on there. And I'm sorry, I'm just a layering girl. You could eliminate that that one layer if you really wanted to. I just like the way it peeks out around the outside edge. So I like it. So, all right, and then we're just going to put some adhesive on here. And we'll put this right on our card layer. Just like this. I'm going to do it this way because I want it in the center. All right, so we end up with this, okay? And then this is my 3 3/4 by 4 3/4 white piece. It's going to go on this in the inside. Now this time, instead of doing the heart, I decided to do a different focal point on the front, and I decided to go get Spotlight on Nature. I waited to buy this set and wanted this set for so long, and the dies were on back order, so I waited till the dies came back into play. But this is a circle die that I just don't use enough of, and I really should be using more of. Look at this patterns on these circles. We have the we have little holes. We have this like little kind of like 3 little leaf thing, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different size circles. So I don't utilize this enough. So I'm thinking about leaving this right out here. The reason I always go to Stylish Shapes is because it's right out here on my work table. So I'm going to leave Spotlight on Nature right out here on my work table so that I use these circles more. So I've gone ahead and I've cut one of those circles out, and this is one of those ones with the real pretty little 3-leaf type thing. Really pretty. Hi, Chelsea, how are ya? And I need my little pad back because I'm using photopolymer. Now I'm using the flowers from Delightful Wishes, okay? But I decided to use the Thanks from Spotlight on Nature. So one of the colors that they say is in this paper is Shy Shamrock. And at first I didn't really see it, but this is Coastal Cabana. And then the Shy Shamrock is a little bit darker, so that must be the Shy Shamrock in there. So I grabbed Shy Shamrock. I got one little spot that didn't punch out here. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool and poke that out. And I'm going to do the Thanks in the Shy Shamrock. I don't think I had used this until today. It's not a color that I go to a real lot. And it's one of those things that unless it's in a paper, I don't always go to it. So that's kind of where I'm at. All right. So then I decided the other colors that they list are peach pie. And so I grabbed peach pie and then the Coastal Cabana. So I'm going to do some flowers using the peach pie with that Delightful Wishes stamp set. So I'm going to come in with the solid image first. And I hope I read it right. Maybe it's supposed to be more pumpkin pie because it really did look more orangey on the paper, but it looked fine once I did it anyway. So I'm going to do, oops, I wanted those to be stamped off. All right, well, that one's not going to be. So we're going to stamp this one off. And then we'll stamp this one off. I'm doing 3 little flowers. Then I'm going to come in with the detail part of it and try to line it up. And this one's going to probably not see it as much on the detail on that one. Nope. Okay, just a look at that. Now I'm going to grab the leaf thing and I'm going to do that in Coastal Cabana. Okay, so we're going to do a leaf up here. We're going to do a leaf kind of over there. And we'll do a leaf on this other side. Kind of right in there. Okay. So there we have that. Now we're going to mount it onto here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some adhesive right in here. Oh, guess what? Adhesive is empty. I love when that happens. And it always happens when I'm live. Always, always. I do too, Sandy. And I really don't feel like I've been utilizing them enough because I don't have them out here. I always seem to go to the circles that are in the Stylish Shapes, and it's because those sit here on my work area. So I'm going to leave the Spotlight on Nature circles out here for a while so that I use them more. And that's because when I store my stamp sets and stuff, I store them with the dies that they come with. And I realize that those Spotlight on Nature circles don't necessarily have to go with that stamp set. So, all right. So there we have it. Sorry, I messed up on the one little guy, but I'll show you my sample here so you'll see that it kind of looks better when you do the 3 lighter ones. So, all right, and then we're going to use some of these guys. Now, I did 4 of the white iridescent ones. And maybe it's because the iridescent does kind of give it like a little bit of a purple sheen, I guess. But it just looks iridescent to me, so. And I've been chasing Mac's hair all morning, or all afternoon that I've been up here. Now I'm going to use the ones that I think kind of look like fresh freesia. And I'm going to put those in the center of my flower. And that looks a little bit better on that flower now because, and actually on mine I used the ones that Sandy said look like bubblegum or petal pink. It looks a little bit better now because it has a center. So it does look okay now. Alrighty, so there's my second one. Using that layout. Now, let's get rid of some of my mess here. I always end up with such a mess. I don't think I need that this time around. So this time I'm using that same paper, and I decided to just switch it up a little bit. So our card base is the fresh freesia, okay? And we're going to do a layer of Blackberry Bliss right on there. Again, you know me and my layers. I love this color combination. Love, love, love this paper. All right, so then I just decided to bring this down, and I just freehand this. I didn't score it. You can score it if you want. I did not. I just brought it down like that, and then I just went across like that. And then we're just going to put it right on there, okay? We're going to put a little glue behind this guy, and I want to put it up in the corner because I want my corner to lay nice and flat, okay? So let's put it on here and bring it over and make sure I get a nice square edge there. Perfect. All right, now we're going to just put some adhesive on the back of this. And we're going to layer this right on here. I think this is probably my favorite sheet of paper. I'm a purple gal, so this is always fun for me. So the heart-shaped die and stamp set, this is free with a $120 purchase. I think this is probably my favorite in Celebration right now. Love it, love it, love it. I had a little piece of the paper left over, so we're going to go right ahead and we're going to put that on the inside. That was one thing on those other cards. If you wanted to, you could make your, if you like doing the strip on the inside like I do. But with these, I figured, you know, we had the other pattern on the inside. But you could make these strips 1/2 inch and then take the other piece and put it on the inside if you wanted to. And I would probably flip it and do it on like that side, which would be kind of cool too. So just another little variation. All right. I've gone ahead and I've cut out my heart shape with the die. I just think this is so pretty. I also cut out that little shape, and then we cut out one of the little flowers in Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to grab my glue. Chloe and I had fun. We did the rainbow kit that's free in Celebration, and then her and I did the Valentine's paper pumpkin, and it was fun. I used the stamps today from the paper pumpkin, Chloe. I saved the stamps, so I used those on the first card. All right, and then we're going to just put our heart right there, Okay. And I'm just going to get him to lay down flat. There he is. All right. Okay, now I have this little flower, and I have Just Because I Care mounted on a black over here, and I need my Blackberry Bliss. And I am missing a Blackberry Bliss pad. So I have an old pad here, but it still worked just fine. So we're going to just ink that up. And I know I'm out of screen here. Let me bring this up a little bit. And I'm going to do Just Because I Care right in the center of that cute little piece that comes in that die. All right, I grabbed some mini dimensionals and put a couple of those on the back of here. This would be a really nice, this could actually even be a sympathy card. Chloe, or when Chloe was over the other day, Chelsea said, do you have any sympathy cards? And you know what? I really need to make more of those, because those are definitely something that you send you send a card for, and I don't always make them. And the place that I sell my cards, she's always asking for sympathy cards. So I need to make, so this one could be used as a sympathy card. So I have the purple, these are the purple, they're not rhinestones, gems. These are in the annual catalog, and I had an open package of these, so I decided to use these because they have the Blackberry Bliss. So I'm going to do one of those on each one end of those, okay? Now, I wanted to show you, back in the day when we used to sell seam binding, used to be in the annual catalog, and we used to have it in different colors. Right now, it's in Celebration, and so you can get it for free. But I wanted to show you something that we used to do with the seam binding that I loved doing. I just thought it was really pretty. To me, it gives it kind of a little bit of a Victorian look. So you're going to cut yourself a piece of seam binding, okay? And I don't have a lot of fingernails, so if I can do this, you can do this. But you're going to pull on one end, and you could do this with a pair of tweezers if you wanted to, and you're going to fray that one end. Then you're going to grab, I am going to see if I have my tweezers here. I do have my tweezers. Then you're going to grab a thread from like the middle. Okay, my tweezers are not grabbing it hard enough. I gotta do it with my fingernail. You're gonna grab a thread from like the middle, and what it does is it starts puckering the seam binding, and I love this. So what you want to do is you want to pull it down through and just pucker it. Now you don't want to pull that thread all the way out. You just want to do this whole like puckering thing, okay? See what it's doing here? It does the whole puckering. It's already kind of wrinkly, which is kind of cool. And then when you do this puckering thing with it, it's even cooler. So I just want a piece about kind of like that. And you can play around with it. You can pull it back out if it's too puckered for you and it's not going to lay the way you want it to. All right. Then you're just going to come in and you're going to cut an even on one end. And cut the other end where you want to cut it to. I got to sharpen my snips and clean my snips. They got lots of glue on them. All right, so now I have this cute little puckered piece that I am going to lay over here on this side of the heart, okay? So I'm just going to take my glue, and I'm just going to put some dots of glue right there. Alrighty, and then I'm just going to lay my cute little puckered ribbon right there. I'm going to hold it down for a few seconds. It wants to stick to my fingies. Come on, you. I did not have this much trouble when I was doing it. The glue goes through the fabric of the ribbon, so there. Okay. So there's my little, and then I'm going to take my little flower. We're going to put a dimensional on the back of him. And we're going to put him right in the middle of the puckered seam binding. And then we're going to put one of these lighter purple gems right in the center of my flower. Alrighty, so there's that one. So this is another fun way. So you could fold this up on both sides. I just like to be able to use both sides of the paper. I just think it's really kind of cool, and especially when um, um, yeah, I just like that it, kind of utilizes both sides of the paper. So there you have it, and I'll bring it up closer so that you can see that. See how that seam binding is just behind that little flower? Like, how pretty is that? So I love doing the scrunchie technique with the seam binding. I miss that we haven't had seam binding. I was so disappointed when they stopped having seam binding, and I was so excited to see that it was in celebration. So you can get the Fresh Freesia seam binding free with a $60 purchase. Okay, so there's that one. I'm going to leave that one there. We're going to bring down this fun one because these are my cards for today. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Don't forget celebration. We are halfway through. It ends the end of February. And like I said, I believe I saw this week there is going to be some new things added to the celebration list. I don't know if there'll be a flyer, but I think they'll just add things to the list anyway. Don't forget to go online. We have some really cute kits right now online. The scrapbooking brochure is there. There's the link to my online store if you want to do some shopping. If you still need a mini catalog and a celebration flyer, Hazel, if you're out there, I have yours, and it is going in my truck tomorrow, and I will be delivering it tomorrow. I have a bunch of deliveries to make tomorrow, and I am loading up my truck in the morning, and I am off to do deliveries. I'm hoping the weather cooperates with me. I just heard it raining really hard out here right now, and I did see that the temperature is supposed to change overnight, so hopefully it won't be like a big slick ice thing on my way home in the morning. We also have this fun Hello Spring. This is going to be our next paper pumpkin. It matches with the add-ons. If you bought the add-on that went with the January one, the add-on is in there for the February and for the March. I love the March one. I love the little bee with the honeycomb. Love it, love it, love it. So, and I had that on my list, and I did not order it on my last order. I need to order an add-on. Keep forgetting. So I did add on to my last order some of this special release designer series paper. These are some patterns that we had before, and they've just come out in different colors, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so that's what I got for you. So if you are around Sunday morning, I will be doing coffee and a card. I come on Sunday morning, grab your favorite morning beverage. We do a little creating here on Sunday morning to get you a little creative juices flowing. We just usually do a quick card demonstration. So this is, You Have My Heart, Chloe. That was from that stamp set that was in the paper pumpkin. I used that on that one. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you enjoyed my cards. Have a great weekend. Stop back on Sunday morning for coffee and a card. Next week I haven't posted it yet, but next Wednesday we'll have a mystery card night, so be watching for that. I'll be posting that hopefully this weekend. It's my weekend off, so I have, the big long to-do list on my weekend off. So, all right, guys, that's all I have. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and as always, hopefully we'll be stamping together real soon.